Welcome to Lessons in Overthinking and Obsessing. If you were to come to me and say, Carly Ann, I really want some realistic support to help me break the pattern of people pleasing, I am done with it, I would share with you something along the lines of what I'm going to share with you in this episode. It's going to give you a really good idea of one of the most effective interventions you can use to support you to actually reduce people pleasing. So in this episode, I'm going to share with you an intervention that you can start using today to help you break the cycle of people pleasing. It's going to require you to set aside time to plan it out, as is the case with any self-help and creating real change in our lives and moving towards the person and the life that we truly desire. If you would like personalized support, you can book a single session package with me now. This session is designed for us to take a deep dive into your situation and provide direct, focused support around the core issue that you know you need help with and to answer your questions. And one of the great things about single session therapy is it's personalized, it's for you, and you don't have to commit to more if you don't want to right now. The link for that is in the description. And if you want to listen to the full episode that discusses subtle signs of people pleasing and why you've landed in adulthood as a people pleaser, that episode was posted on the 21st of June, 2026. I deep dive much more into this topic, and what you're listening to today is cut from that episode. If you've recognized yourself in this episode, if you have felt the drive and the inspiration to want to shift these patterns, then I want to leave you today with 4 steps that I really genuinely do encourage people to find a way to implement these shifts into their day-to-day life, to genuinely sit back and say, how can I actually make this change? Because if you are serious about lessening your people pleasing, lessening the self-abandonment, if you've really got to the point where you're like, no more for me, I have to shift this, it's really bothering me, or it's actually getting in the way of my day-to-day, then you're going to need to actually take the action, and that is these steps. So step 1 is to make a list and decide where to begin. The first thing I encourage you to do is simply become aware of the ways, the individual ways that people pleasing is showing up in your life. For some, it's saying yes when you want to say no. For others, it might be apologizing excessively, avoiding difficult conversations. I want you to make a list of the way that you're people pleasing, who you're people pleasing. And once you've identified the patterns and the specific ways that it's showing up for you, I don't want you to feel the pressure to tackle every single one at once. Instead, I want you to ask yourself, which of these feels easiest to begin with? Which one is maybe feeling the easiest, or you can go down the route of which one feels like it's the most distressing. Sometimes people want to start there as well, but you want to think about, you basically want to make a choice of which one you are going to start with. I say the easiest because, it's that idea of baby steps and small steps, but I can understand if you're like, no, I want to get straight to it. But if you get straight to it and go straight for the distressing one and it's just too triggering and too difficult at the moment, either book a single session with me or go back to your list and start with an easier one, because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is simply you're going to start somewhere. Step 2 is that you're going to understand the fear and you're going to meet it with compassion. So one of the mistakes I think many of us make is trying to force ourselves to stop these behaviors without understanding why they're there in the first place. Like I've been really saying about our core beliefs and our wounds. So do take a moment to really explore that. Really ask yourself, why is it hard for me to say no? What is it that's going on for me based on what I know about myself, based on what my experiences are? What are the fears that I have? What's hard about this? What am I afraid will happen? Those kind of questions are going to support you to really understand what is the fear underneath this behavior. What's the fear about stopping this behavior? It's such valuable information. You're not then going to criticize yourself or judge yourself. It's going to be meeting it with understanding. That makes sense. Really, that compassion, that curiosity, that's what's healing. They are the approaches that are healing. Self-criticism is not healing. Compassion and understanding, that's healing. Step 3, you're going to look at your predictions. So, what I notice with thoughtful, anxious people is that they tend to mistake their negative, fearful predictions for facts. You have images and you see the negative outcome as if it's real. You predict that someone's going to be disappointed. You have visions of someone being angry at you and shouting at you. You visualize yourself being lonely or getting fired. Before expressing a need, you imagine you'll be seen as demanding or difficult, and you really believe it. You see it, you feel it, and you believe it. So what I encourage you to do at this stage is to write down your predictions before trying something new, before stepping into the easy practice, or the, if you've chosen the distressing one. You're going to step back and ask yourself, what am I imagining? What am I predicting? What is my mind telling me is going to happen if I change this behavior, if I don't over apologize, whatever it is? Because very often these predictions link to step 2, they're rooted in old experiences and old beliefs. And it'll be so interesting as you do the predictions, is if you see links with step 2. You really might see that happening. And then again, you're meeting that with understanding, with curiosity. And it's the best feeling when you start to realize, oh, it's not about my boss. It's not about the person that I'm dating. There is something deeper going on here. Again, that's the work. That is us doing the work. And step 4, you're going to practice and you're going to reflect, because we're gathering new evidence here. So step 4 is where we really change the pattern, not through insight alone, but through practice. I'm sorry to say it, the planning, the insight, is not enough on its own. This is when you're going to practice saying no to something. This is when you're actually going to try and not apologize, even though you feel the urge to. This is when you're going to resist over-explaining yourself, or resist the urge to do whatever it is you want to do when you're worried that someone is upset with you. You're not sure if they don't like you. You're going to resist the urge to do what you would want or feel like you need to do, and you're going to be yourself instead. After you have not given into that urge, after you've not done the normal people pleasing, whatever it is you're deciding to work on, I want you to compare what actually happened with what you predicted would happen. So when you actually put this into practice, compared to what you predicted would happen, how do they compare? Because that's what I want you to look at. Very often, one of two things happens. Either things are absolutely fine and you realize that your fears weren't accurate, and you might not be surprised to hear that that is so often what people are telling me the most. It was fine. Sometimes it really is the case. Many times it is the case that it goes even better than you expected. However, the other thing that can occur is that people can be disappointed. A conversation can feel uncomfortable. Things don't go perfectly. And you discover something equally as important. You cope. The world did not fall apart. And that's where your confidence really grows. Your confidence grows when you see that there's opportunity for people to come round anyway, even if they were disappointed. For you to realize, you know what, I actually set a boundary and I feel good for it. For you, just like I say, to realize the world did not fall apart. It's okay. And over time, as you gradually work your way through your list from step 1, you're not simply changing behaviors, you're challenging old beliefs, you're creating new experiences, that old self and the new self. And you have to be asking yourself, when it comes to people pleasing, how does the old self compare to the new self look? In terms of future me, the life I want to be living, who I want to be, what does people pleasing look like? You'll be learning through these 4 steps that you don't need to abandon yourself. That is not necessary. And I'd love to ask for an exchange of energy. If you can subscribe, you can review. 5-star reviews apparently make such a big difference, really to reach other people pleasers, to help grow this podcast, which is something I would just adore to happen. Thank you for being here, and I will be back here very soon.